So, welcome to a very unplanned Mr.Debonheire Halloween special. Now, a little background story about how this got started. I was scrolling my FYP. I come across this woman's video, and she's talking about her experience about seeing a ghost. I commented in her video a little bit about my own personal experience, and she's the one who inspired me to come out and make a video talking about my experience. So I told her I would. Wanted me to tag her in it, so here we are right now. So thank you. So without getting too much into my own personal... Oh, by the way, why am I using a voice changer? Because it's Halloween, and it's... without getting into my personal past or anything like that, or like when it led up to this point of me and my mom being homeless, just know that me and my mom were homeless in 1994. We had to go into a shelter, this Red Cross shelter in Fort Worth, Texas, which is still up to this day. And to this day, I still wonder if anyone, has gone there or lives there, knows or have experienced the things that I experienced, and actually other people at the time that I was at that place got to experience. But I'm going to tell you about the time I saw 3 ghosts in one night. So, and I'm going to talk about other stuff revolving around that building as well. So, me and my mother were on the 3rd floor. There's 3 floors to the building at the time they were there. We were on the 3rd floor. And one night, I woke up. And I looked over to my left side where I was laying down, and I saw what appeared to be a black woman. I only saw her head. I didn't see anything below her neck or anything like that, but I could clearly see what looked like a very illuminated figure. It was a black woman, and she had like her hair was kind of short, but it had like curls. It looked like it had curls in it. Either way, she looks at me, and she smiles at me, and then she turns her head over to where my mom is at. Now, like, it's kind of hard to describe, like, I might draw something on the video to kind of, give you an idea, but, my mom was off to my left. She looks over to my mom, and she looks down and looks sad, and then she just disappears. And then, right after that happened, I look over to see in the bathroom, which is facing directly at where I was at, and I see what looks like a kind of a white figure that looked like an elderly woman walking on a cane, and that literally lasted about maybe 2-3 seconds. Every encounter only lasted about a few seconds. Then I look over. Now there are 3 beds in our room, but my mom was using one, I was using one, and there was an empty bed right next to her. Well, I saw what looked like a orange cat, like a calico type of cat, come from underneath the empty bed and run across to where my mom's bed was. Okay, and that all happened in one night. Later, I think it was late. Yeah, it was later. I told her about all this going on, and I don't remember. And I'm just being honest. I don't remember if this was before or after I told her, but she herself experienced during the night experienced what felt like a cat like crawling up on her like her body while she was sleeping. And there was that, and then we had an experience where a neighbor, like a few rooms down, came and knocked on our door, and she said, I just came here to let you know you need to keep your cat down. And she's saying this because we're not allowed to have pets while we were staying in the shelter, and we didn't have any pets, but she kept. Or she said she wasn't going to tell us that we had to keep her cat down. We told her we don't have a cat. And she said, oh my God, that's so weird. I can literally hear a cat coming from your room, but we didn't hear anything. And so they kept talking. And eventually the woman wanted to invite us to her room and talk about her personal experiences and whatnot. And that's exactly what happened. So me and my mom went to this woman's room, and the woman was telling about like the cat and stuff, but she started talking about her own personal experience. And she said that she witnessed um, her sister actually being picked up by a ghost and being like lifted up into the air. Now I don't know, I can't verify any of that happened, but at the same time I know what I saw, right? And I know some people are like, oh, maybe you were dreaming and hallucinating and whatever. I'm like, yeah, technically you could say that, but I don't believe that for a second. And believe me, I'm a skeptic amongst a lot of spiritual stuff is out there. But you know, every time I start to become like my typical skeptical part, I start reminding myself of some of the pretty wacky things I've experienced in my life. But you know, that the whole ghost thing at that shelter being one of them. But there's other things to me validate my experience in that building, because the thing is, there was 3 floors to that building. On the second floor, there were like 3 or 4 vending machines, and on the second floor, at the vending machines, was an area where they had like the couches and the chairs. It was kind of like a lounge area. It had a microwave there. It had, you know, all that, and so, you know, in the vending machine. Well, there were people that live right next to that whole area. Like literally, they walk out the door and they're already in the lounge area, right? So their room's right next to where the vending machines are. Well, we heard that there were certain people that were living in those rooms next to the vending machines, swore that they would hear somebody dropping quarters in the vending machine while it was like 2, 3 in the morning, and they would open up their door because we're not even allowed to be like out there and stuff. So, you know, at a certain like a curfew or something, they would open the door and there'd be nobody there, right? And so there's that. And another little thing to kind of add to it. Now this part isn't so much paranormal, excuse me. This isn't paranormal, but there was a room on the 3rd floor, and it was locked, okay? And it was kind of like a mysterious room. We didn't know, like, you know, like nobody lived there, but, you know. I ended up looking underneath the room, and there was so much dust, dirt on the floor, you clearly could tell that thing had to have been closed up for years. I mean, we're talking probably was locked up sometime there in the 90s. Actually, what am I talking about? It was 94. So they would be locked up since the 80s, you know what I mean? It just was like, looked like it was locked up for a long, long time. And I remember my mom asking someone at work there all about that room, and it's like they just stayed quiet. They didn't talk about it, and it was just weird stuff like that. You know, so to this day, I 1000% believe that place is haunted. Do I feel like there's a lot of like fake stuff out there? Absolutely. I do believe there's a lot of people that are very superstitious and they tend to believe anything and everything that they hear, but I feel like there's also some legitimate cases out there of what you would call paranormal activity. And if it wasn't for my own personal experience of this stuff, again, I'd probably be a 100% skeptic on all this stuff.